Joshua Zirkzee, for me, was always the most interesting signing Manchester United made this summer. And I think his performance against Crystal Palace has really shown United fans what he can bring to the team and why he actually is a genuine game changer. Because United's game changed, and he was crucial to that. I'm going to explain, show you some stills from the game, and just speak about Zirkzee overall, because I think he played really well. And United were a different team without him on the pitch. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, before Zirkzee signed, I did a transfer profile looking into his game. All right, so everything that I saw against Palace and kind of what we've seen so far in a positive way from Zirkzee, it's not a surprise. If you'd watched him at Bologna last season, this is who Zirkzee is. By his own words there, he's not a number 9. He's not number 10. 9.5. He's a blend. And that's what we've seen. And that's, for me, what was so impressive against Crystal Palace. Now, take a look at the stats here, right? He went off in the 61st minute. So the stats there are before and after Zirkzee was on the pitch. You can see how much better United were with the expected threat, the expected goal threat. Possession was very similar, but the threat disappeared after Zirkzee went off. All right? And we can see here the passes into the final third. So many, by comparison of so few, after Zirkzee went off. And it was because of his link-up play. Now, Man United's problem right now is scoring goals. And Zirkzee on his own isn't going to be the solution to that problem. But let me quickly show you a few slides here, all right? Little quick presentation on Zirkzee's performance overall against Crystal Palace and just some key moments from it, right? In terms of the creativity, obviously the main one that everyone's going to be speaking about was this pass here to Garnacho. Turn, faced, lovely ball through. Created a clear-cut opportunity for Garnacho. Of course, unfortunately, Dean Henderson saved it. But it was a lovely ball from Zirkzee. And another example here, right? Bruno, ball into Zirkzee. Instead of holding onto the ball, you can see he's surrounded it. And I was actually worried about how much space Manchester United were going to have centrally against Crystal Palace. I really didn't think they were going to have that many. So 1, 2, 3, 4, technically in the middle of 6 players. First time ball back to Bruno. And that was where the outside of the boot where Bruno missed. I actually thought that was kind of understood why he hit that with the outside of his boot. But anyway, Zirkzee, lovely, quick interlinking play, sorry. And that is something that we, in my opinion, need more of. And that's what makes him kind of unique in that sense. Because Bruno is somebody who will love to speed that game up. He's fast on the transition. When it works with Bruno, it does work brilliantly. But Zirkzee offers something completely different. All right? And that's where we look at these examples here. With his back to goal, creating chances as well. Mainu into Zirkzee, again surrounded by 4 players. Ball to Bruno. Ball again to Bruno. Keeping the ball moving. Another example here. Eriksen. And look how deep Zirkzee drops. A little knockoff to Mainu. Turns. The move continues. What he brings is something that I don't think Bruno can offer in that role. I don't think that's actually how you get the best out of Rasmus Højlund. And unfortunately, this is kind of why you're not really going to get Zirkzee in and around the 6-yard box too often. When he scores, it's going to be him arriving towards the edge of the box. A late arrival, a bit like Scott McTominay. But compare what we're seeing there from Zirkzee to what McTominay could do on the ball, and that's just something that was not part of McTominay's game. Now, let's take a quick look here at some intelligence and some movements and some runs from Zirkzee as well. This one in particular stands out for me, okay? You can see Eriksen's on the ball deep here. You can see Mainu is over there, and he's going to be making that run in behind. And Bruno Fernandes spots that run too and makes the same run. Zirkzee is here. Now, if that was Rasmus Højlund, he would also make the same run. But instead, Zirkzee thinks completely differently. Bruno and Mainu looking for the ball over the top from Eriksen, but Eriksen spots how much space there is there and gets the ball to Zirkzee's feet. And now from this position, you're far more likely to be able to get that ball in behind than you are from that position. 6-7 yards into your own half. And you can bring the ball forward. And that's just the sort of smart play that Zirkzee has. And how he thinks differently to Bruno, to Højlund, to Garnacho, to Rashford, to Ahmad. Maybe not Ahmad. Ahmad would kind of drop deep a little bit. But that's how we get the most out of him. And in my opinion, he is a game changer. And I think what's going to be really interesting now is to see what United do next, because I've written down a few things, right? In my opinion, to get the most out of Joshua Zirkzee, United are going to have our wingers scoring more, because Zirkzee will be able to enable them, and that's what he's mainly going to be, an enabler. And Zirkzee's performance against Crystal Palace enabled us to have, in my opinion, the best build-up play that we had from back to front in a long time under Erik Ten Hag, consistently creating moves through patterns and build-up, and Zirkzee was key to all of that. Now, our wingers are going to have to score, because Zirkzee will end up dropping deep a lot to enable that to happen. So they've got to score. And on top of that, if not, get the cutbacks to the edge of the box, where Zirkzee, a lot of the time, is going to be arriving. Having enabled the beginning of the move, he can be on the end of the move, but it won't be him flying towards the front post and getting a nick on it. That's something that's going to be more like Rasmus Højlund. It'll be interesting to see whether we can see Zirkzee and Højlund together, as I've written there. Now, I do think it poses a question about what happens with Bruno, because if we're looking at our central two midfielders, you're looking at Mainu and you're looking at Ugarte. That's going to be your first choice. Right now, with the system we're playing, we've got Bruno playing just in front of those two. Can you do that and play Zirkzee in that sort of false 9 role, the 9.5? I don't really think you can. You would have to play him as the number 9, and then you kind of take away those aspects that we saw in the game against Crystal Palace that enabled us to just be so dominant in those first 60 minutes. So I don't know exactly how... I suppose this kind of happens when you make new signings, right? Zirkzee always was a very unique player in his profile. And that Palace game was just the perfect example of what he can bring. Now, of course, we didn't win the game. It was frustrating. Zirkzee has been missing chances himself. I think he's missed 4 big chances in the Premier League so far. No, 3. I think only Garnacho's missed 1 more. But what he can bring is enabling United to play differently. Instead of it being that rapid transition, 30-yard ball over the top, and sometimes that works and creates opportunities, it's creating chances through repeated patterns. Something that we've been wanting to see. Development-wise, Zirkzee enables this attack to attack in a way that they hadn't before. Again, you might say, Sam, it's really stupid for you to do a video like this, considering we haven't been scoring goals this season. We have been creating chances. 17 chances, in fact. And Zirkzee, in my opinion, is a key component to that. And I think his influence will only grow as the season goes on. You can let me know what you think in the comments, but I was really excited by the signing of Zirkzee. And what I saw against Palace was exactly why.